Hello and welcome back. My name is Kira and this is episode 27 maybe? I can't count. About Let's Play Assassin's Creed. Oh my god. Sunless guys. Sorry, I was in a weird mood. I've been really tired today, so I've been sleeping a lot. I've tried to record a couple of videos that didn't go too well because I was sleeping. So I slept late about, being generally lazy. And then I couldn't actually sleep because there's roadworks happening outside my house, which is like brilliant. So instead, I've all of a sudden decided that I felt like dressing up pretty gothic. So I have, including my very frilly shirt. Um, did my makeup because it always makes me feel better, even though I'm rubbish at it and I look probably a little bit rubbish, but that's fine. I don't really care. Just realize that I'm doing all this for myself, so what other people care or like see and think about all this is pretty much secondary to what I feel. And right now, I feel pretty spiffy. I feel pretty jazzy. And I feel pretty good. So that's what I'm going with. So I'm going to try to go back through the Albion relay because for some reason it saved us on this side of the border. Because of course it did. So I'm gonna have to go back through the damn relay again, which is kind of annoying. So we're going to the Reach again. Because remember, we want to go back to Carillon to figure out what's happening in Carillon with all of our crew members and their dramas and all of that fun stuff. I've also decided just now that I also need to do my nails again, so I'll do that too. Look, if you can't sleep because someone's doing roadworks at fucking 2 in the morning, then you're going to have to make yourself feel a little bit productive. Even if you spent most of the day that you could have been doing those said productive things, sleeping or laying about in bed. I don't have an argument. I really don't have a good argument for this situation right now. I got nothing to say. Um, I'm just really bad at managing my time, or I'm just really bad at resisting the temptation that is my bed. My bed is nice and, comfy and lovely, so there is that. But anyway, so you might also hear some air conditioning in the background, and that is also because of the roadworks. I have had to close all of my windows and doors because there's dust. I'm not happy if you can't tell. I'm really annoyed. The company's... Oh, wow, look. A shift in fortunes, the Winwood Company has scored several recent victories against the Techides and regained their foothold in New Winchester. Much to the parsimonious Chapman's relief, they have quit the local offices of Port Prosper and departed for their old home, where they mean to reoccupy the company house. Fantastic! Stalemate. A number of gleaming new dreadnoughts arrived from the transit relay from London to reinforce the company's fleet before they advance on New Winchester. Now stovepipes and Techides must once share the town, much to the Colonial Assembly's perturbation. The balance of power in the Reach has returned to its traditional state of simmering stalemate. Lovely! We already have a settlement person that we've dragged all the way to Albion. And now he's dragging them back. Despite that they went from, like, they came from Albion, we dragged them all the way back, and now we drag them back here. But anyway, we'll deal with them. How about we first of all, do we need any seeds? I don't know, but generally we always end up needing seeds. We have no money. How about we just buy... No, we can't even afford that. Okay, that's a bit rubbish. That's fine though. We'll survive. We'll just get to like New Winchester and then like sell all of the stuff we've got in the bank or something. It'll be fine. We'll write a port report. We'll attend the grand ball. Candles illuminate the great staircase that sweeps up to the residence of the Winwood Company, which has been chosen to host this season's ball. West Enders parade in their finest. Hoop skirts and starched collars and predominate. White tie is the order of the evening. A few East Enders, most mostly actors, have secured tickets, but most are servants if they're seen at all. The orchestra is playing the score from Victoria's first ball under her throne of hours. Um, be in your worst behavior? God, no. Be on our best behavior is what we're going to do, but let's fill out a dance card first. Sky captains are always popular at balls. They're a novelty in a static orbit. You dance with dignitaries, diplomats, and duchesses. You barely sat down on one of the little benches at the side of the room before you're whisked up again for a waltz or a quadrille. A hand passes against yours, cool breath brushes against your cheek, formal shoes pinch into your toes. Starlight dances over the glass roof, casting silver shadows over the assembly. A lantern is lit before the British flag until soon it is the brightest thing in the room. 3 visions of heavens. How nice. Let's investigate the clocks, I guess. Your horological office pocket watch affords you access to the port's primary clock, from which others in the areas get their time. You unpack your tools to begin with, assorted screwdrivers, brushes, pliers, tweezers, a small bottle of oil, a jeweler's loupe. Correct the time and date. Oh, let's correct the time and date. Failure! Oh dear Lord. Lost in time. This clock must have been designed by a madman. Though the gears seem to know what they're doing, you can make no sense of it whatsoever. A passerby outside wonder whether the 13th bong came from. Fortunately, you're not the only horologist here. A skilled apprentice present on unrelated reasons soon intervenes, promising to fix things on your behalf if you'll just put away your tools and go anywhere else for a few hours in exchange for your fee, obviously. Oh no. How rubbish. I guess we weren't too good at being a horologist. Oh well. We try. That's what matters. The chairman's office. Have you got anything to say? No, we've got no Tekiri plates, so we can't hand any of those in. We've got really nothing else to do. We've done this before, so that's fine. So what we're going to do is be on our way. I think, where is Carol? Oh, Carolyn's really close. Let's go to Carolyn. Hang on. Big question. The port sells supplies. I mean, either way, we're a little bit screwed. Because I don't think we can make it to New Winchester on 3 supplies. But I suppose we should just make it. You know what? Just go for it. Try our best. If we fail, we fail. But I don't think we will. I think we will be able to make it. And if not, then we'll be able to kill a few ships. We've got guns. See? They kick kind of ass. I actually have zero faith in what I'm saying right now, if you didn't notice. What? Why are you bumping into me? Fuck off. Why are you attacking me? I'm just saying things. I am not a threat. You should be attacking the Tekiri ship, not me. I'm a friend of the London people. Jesus. Right. Oh, our hull is looking pitiful. No, I don't want to sell any more explosives to Lustrum because that's how we ended up with the Tekkities like getting all the control anyway. So screw that shit. Let's get this stuff in the bank because I think that's really expensive stuff. Let's get that. Let's get the bat in there as well because we don't actually need the bat. We have something else in our hold, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we have the Star Smitten bat, which is apparently nicer. I don't know. I haven't actually seen a difference, so I honestly don't know. But, whatever. We could maybe sell some crockery because, fuck, we've got a lot of those. Let's sell 5 of those. And let's sell 1 of the jumbled hours. And that should give us enough money to get us going for a bit. Not that we need it because we've got supplies now. But whatever. It'll be good to have some sort of money. Yep, so 5 of those, 1 of those. Oh, no, don't sell those. Bad. Alright, there you go. We're no longer broke. This is not bad. Now we have enough supplies. Now, none of the bizarre stuff was going to where we wanted to go, which was mostly to Carillon. But there was something else in Carillon. Minister book thingies, majiggies, but that was from a different captain. I'm not sure if the story would have carried over. All right, you know what? Screw it. We'll just go to Carillon. Let me just go to Carillon. All right, I'll meet you in Carillon. All right, and here we are. We're in Carillon. So I believe that most of our little crew people has something to do with Carillon, which is why I decided to come here. Because this is the thing. It would be actually quite easy for me to get the 5,000 sovereigns required to retire off the captain and be done. And I kind of like said I was going to stop playing the game once I did that. But unfortunately, there's these little bits of drama that keeps making me come back. Like, I don't want to stop playing. I'm too interested by what's happening. Like, there seems to be so many secrets and so many things that are just a little bit wrong that I just want to figure out what it is. And something about the writing that just really gets to me. I really like it. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is Carillon Center. So let's go to the Overgrown Shrine because it's only like one little thing. We'll just contemplate the statue and then it reaches our terror, which is a good thing. Let's go to the foyer. Write the port report because that's always a good thing. Right, ask about the Sarge's stuff for the Ret Brigade. There we go. She glances up when you enter her office. On noticing the Ret Brigade, her eyebrow rises a fraction. We've never satisfactorily answered the question of rodent souls. How can I help you? She addresses you and ignores the rats. It transpires that the Deviless is able to locate Sarge's file remarkably swiftly. She does not hand over the slim folder, but reads it in silence. There. I knew he'd specify something. That those who came looking for what he entrusted to us must undergo penance to avoid a repetition of his mistakes. You'll require a shift in perspective. That can be gained in the checkerboard garden. Sure, we can do that. Checkerboard garden. Not a long journey. But by the time you come out of the plane of the checkerboard, your calves are hurting. Of course it is. Nothing in this devilish place seems to be without a pain of some sort. Right, we need to gain... Oh my god! This is going to take a challenge. Don't... Like, we're near 44% chance of success. Gain up in it... Oh! Never mind. Disregard. First time lucky. All you have to do is wait. A man recently eliminated from the game endlessly told an anecdote about once having met the captivating princess. Until he has overcome these flaws, he must suffer consistent nightmares of being devolved into a lower creature, such as a fluke. What's a fluke? What's a fluke? I don't know. Anyway, the supervising devil is distracted by the play on the chessboard. As for your punishment, it does not bear speaking of. The experience leaves your throat parched. Well, we have a penance. Right. Do we go back to the lady? Go and speak to the presiding deviless. Led between the wickerworks. The presiding deviless works in an office shaped like a beehive, a stone and wickerwork building that stands all alone in the middle of Carillon's center courtyards. She conducts intake interviews with new patients one by one. After a long time in line, you reach her at last. Greetings, my lady. How may we stretch, strain, purify, and strengthen you now you've come to Carillon? Take the Rep Brigade back to the presiding deviless. A single sheaf. The presiding deviless smiles at the unhappy expression of the rats. Much better. She passes over a single piece of paper from the sergeant's file. It smells of incense and jasmine. Hooker, Cinder explains. Sergeant didn't like his luxuries. The writing is minuscule and brief. The vault is at the central office of Haldridge's Bank. The account was opened in London in the year before the blockade of New Winchester. The deviless is already working on a new file. You have, apparently, been dismissed. Okay, now we can talk to the Rep Brigade back on our ship. But before we do that, we need to, Oh. Well, we need to have the soiree with our inconvenient aunt. Your aunt, chattering constantly, guides you through the ash-grey stones chambers of Carillon. Eventually you reach a little door in one of the less travelled backways. Your aunt knocks thrice. The door swings open. A severe-scarred old woman peers out. Bunty! Your aunt cries happily. After a brief introduction, Bunty ushers you inside. You emerge into a room of high mirror ceiling. Its dark-panelled walls are illuminated by dripping crimson candles. Revolutionaries consort with military auditors. Devils drink with bright-eyed ministers of new sequence. A famous Takari general is hardly occupied with distinguished admiral. What has she brought you to? Um, look for your aunt. Uh, there we go. You duck between a pair of drunken lords toasting to their family feud and follow the sound of boiled sweets being crunched. You're led deep into the bowels of the chamber. Your aunt is shamelessly eavesdropping on a conversation at the foot of a staircase. Her expression is aghast. You make out the words, "The St. Dunstan's rendezvous? The company of four," before your aunt notices you. "Let's get out of here," she says, hurrying you away. Right. I have no idea what that was about, but cool. Um, I have no idea what my cat is doing, but she seems to be enjoying the drawer I've left open, which is slightly worse. Lacey, no, 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 no. I don't care. Come on, come on. What is wrong with you? You are a horrible cat. You know, curiosity killed the cat. You're barely alive as it is. So can you just... No, you can't go back to the drawer. Can you stay here with Mommy for a little bit? Mommy just wants to finish playing this, okay? No, no, please don't go anywhere. Stop biting me. If anyone knows how to get a freaking cat to stop biting a freaking owner, then please let me know. I would really, really appreciate it. The cat in question is this one. Look at the camera. Lacey, look at the camera. And she's a little shit. A little shit that I unfortunately love a little bit too much to just get rid of. But anyway, I'm having a lot of interruptions today. I feel very chaotic. I don't feel very settled. So, I need to speak to the rep brigade again, which I think I... Actually, let's speak to the aunt first, just because I was so curious. What was all that about St. Dunstan's? What got her so shaken up at the Carillon? In Her Majesty's service. When I was a gal, I used to do a bit of spying for the Crown. Now, I've been out of the trade for years, but I couldn't help but overhear an intriguing conversation. People rarely pay attention to ladies of my age. She gives you a look as though daring you to disagree. They said revolutionaries helped our government conquer Albion. They mentioned a secret rendezvous at St. Dunstan's between our four representatives, a new sequencer, a revolutionary, and two members of Her Majesty's government. I have to get to the bottom of this. It is my duty. She tilts her chin defiantly. I've friends at Port Prosper who owes me a favour, and we can get lunch. Of course. Of course we have to go to Port Prosper now. Like, jeez. Lady, you're dragging us around like everywhere. What about the rats? Discover what the rats are up to. Okay, the air is thick with the scent of jasmine. The rats have acquired a hookah pipe and are reminiscing over their lost Sarge. Albert twitches his immaculate whiskers. We need to find Vilma, our strategist, but he will be awkward. She was Cinder's paramour. There is a snort from somewhere in the nest. Albert continues. We've lost touch with the others. Vilma will know where they are. I can't do this accent, man. I really can't. I'm trying to read it, and it's got the little V's, and that's what I'm trying to do, but it's horrible. I can't do it properly. And when we open the vault, you'll have a share, of course. The last I heard, Wilma is residing in Perdurance as a pet. Oh, dear Lord. Albert's expression speaks volumes. So we now have to go to... Oh, my God. Like, okay. We seem to be needing to go everywhere. Now, what did the princess want? Oh, yes, about the Pajurant. That's what she was interested in. A chatter of starlings and swift correction. 2 dozen starlings buzz around the princess's quarters. It takes some time to make yourself heard. It's not true, says the princess, gesturing to a short woman with tall hair and spectacles. My friend was an engineer. She hasn't disappeared. She's right here. The analytical suitor sits, staring adoringly at the princess. However, I'm glad you're here. I understand that a new political movement inspired the more melancholic strands of the celestial school is meeting a Warbury juxtaman. I wish to better study this notion of sadness. It is quite beyond me. She smiled. You're outside. Okay, so the princess just seems to be leading us on a merry-go-round of like all the social scenes and social everything. The aunt wants to do gossipy stuff. The rap brigade has more stuff that's kind of like akin to what we've been wanting to do for our previous captains. So I guess that's a bit more, on par with what we really want to do. But hey, um, what about let's gamble with the incautious driver? Why not? Caught in the act. You enter the hold and find the game well underway. The driver sits cross-legged in front of a pile of freshly won sovereigns and 3 newly impoverished members of the crew. A stoker English throws an expensive-looking watch onto the pile of winnings and departs in a fury. The driver looks up. My lady, care to make a wager? Sure, why not? The driver deals out cards between the players. The cook and the crewman whose name you can't place at the moment watch each other with barely disguised suspicion. Behind you, a small crowd gathers to see their captain's coin. How much coin are we required? We need 25. Oh, why not? Let the crew be happy. The sacrifices you make. A losing hand. You throw your cards down not expecting to win. You're not disappointed. The driver barely looks at their cards before going all in, claiming the pot with nothing more than a pair of aces. The other players glare sullenly, regretting their hesitation. I hear you used to be a test driver, says the quartermaster. The driver nods. You never have thought it. As a child, loved my trains. Very ordered. A safe little space where they could go around and round and round and nothing could go wrong. It was only after the crash that I realized I needed something more. I suppose surviving that taught me that there was more to living than simply being alive. Another round? Nope. I don't trust you from the cards. Let the game continue. Let the crew be happy. Why not? The driver nods to you, idly scratching an ear. Just for a moment you spot something green winding around their finger. Ooh. Converse with the incautious driver, shall we? They keep scratching their ears even whilst driving, a nervous tic or perhaps a sickness that might be spreading amongst the crew. What? Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, the driver scratches again. It's nothing, just a little earache, I'm sure. It comes and goes. Their knees tremble with the frustration of being pulled away from the wheel for even this short conversation. See? All fine now. Yeah, order a visit to the doctor. Not necessary, the driver protests, scratching at their even with renewed force. A look of pain flashes over their face for a moment. Perhaps, my family knows a specialist in New Winchester. I think father owned the building. I think I can call in a favour. Right. Let's get them to New Winchester to go and see a doctor. God, our list of things to do is growing for our crew members. Now, what do you want to... Alright, let's have fatalistic signalman. Warning over the subject. Soon you're engaged in this small competition. You raise the... Oh, we've done this bit. Yeah. And we don't have 6 reports for that to happen. What about our fortunate navigator? I don't have tea. And I don't have honey. Alright, let's get the rest of this sorted. I guess we're off to New Winchester now to get the incautious driver seen by a doctor. And then we have to go to Port Prosper. Actually, we might as well go to Port Prosper first. I really want to know about the auntie and her things. The thing about the princess is I have to go back to Albion and I still need more ministry stamped pass thingy-majiggies. Ministry stamped thingies. Passes. Permits. Permits. Is the word permits? We need more of those permits. Hello, tech of the ship. Come over here, hon. I promise it won't hurt. Oh, you did get me for 1 point. Come here. Come here. Come on. It won't hurt too much. I promise. Oh. Come here. Take your medicine. There we go. Thank you. Alright. Well, we must get some hell out of them. Oh, and we've leveled up. Great. We needed more, veil, I think. So we must get more veil. More veil and more mirrors? Yeah, why not? The bell tolls. You have foreseen your own death. It did not please you. Perhaps you saw it in a dream. Perhaps a medium read it on your palm or your tea leaves. When death comes, where will it find you? Oh, in the cold skies, an early death and a cruel one. Sometimes you dream of hoarfrost gathering in your lungs. It's not the death you chose. You will elude it. Sure. Oh yeah, by the way, where did our settlers want to go? It's been so many episodes that I have no idea where our settlers want to go. I have not an idea at all. What? What is this? A messenger greets you at the station? He holds a scrubbed pink face and the immaculate hair of a natural-born butler. He holds a placard with your name. Right. An intriguing message. The messenger explains that he, as you already guessed, a butler. His master has heard much about your exploits and are quite desperate to meet you. He hands you a card with an address. You recognize it as a neighborhood of particular wealth and prominence. The Bleak Industrialist's Estate. Oh, we have another cryptic benefactor. Lovely. Well, let's have a chat with your aunt thingy first. Rely on your local credentials to meet your inconvenient aunt's friend. A link in the chain. You're ushered into a table with an enviable view. Your aunt examines the menu with a critical eye. Ginger snap, she exclaims. Goodness me. You can't tell if this is a good thing or not. At last, an older lady joins you. She introduces herself as a countess. This is the last time, she says to your aunt. You are not to contact me again. That is a shame, dearie, but you have done well for yourself since Newgate, your aunt replies mildly. The St. Dunstan's rendezvous concerns the murder of a son, the Countess says, frowning. There were 4 attendants, the chaplain of the new sequence, February, Her Majesty's private counsellor, and Her Majesty, the Queen. She rises and thrusts what looks like a Christmas card into your aunt's hand before walking away swiftly. Oh wow, this is becoming extraordinarily interesting. But let's go to the industrialist estate, shall we? The estate takes up half a street. The mansion itself is a grandiose estate with Venetian windows, a cupola, columns in the Palladian style, but the garden is tangled with weeds. Muddy water pools glumly at the bottom of disused fountains. The industrialist receives you in one of his drawing rooms, sitting with a rum glass beside a fire. He has a sour cast to his mouth and eyes that blaze with discriminate loathing. Okay, what the hell did you ask for us? Okay, before he answers, he knocks back a rum in a single gulp and calls for his butler to fetch another. There is a distant kingdom where the dead can be found. The industrialist's voice is hoarse with disuse. I need an enterprising sort, such as yourself, to visit it for me and retrieve someone. It should be a simple enough affair. In return, I'll pay you a small fortune. Who does he want brought back from the dead? Some years ago, I lost someone dear to me. A world without her, it is worthless, miserable. I need her back. Rightio. Oh, hang on. So, when we first started this journey, We left from the Blue Kingdom, which was where the dead comes back to life. And we left it with a black box, which was a large black box, which we took to an estate in London, which it turns out was a place where all of the houses and everything was blacked out and stuff. And someone was brought there and was pulled out of the box. And they clearly had no water, no food. So we must have brought a dead person back. That's what the captain organized for. Ooh. This is interesting. So maybe we're just like doing a repetition of that captain's journey. Maybe that's what we are being asked to do. But it's not someone we care about, it's someone that they care about. Hmm. Well then. Well, you can try to persuade them to let them go. The industrialist glass. For a moment his hatred is solely focused on you. Okay, fine. We'll help him. Thank you, the industrialist contemplates his glass for a while. London has an embassy there, a place called Sky Barrett. I cultivated a contact amongst the diplomats who I hoped could help me, but he proved useless. Maybe you'll get more value from him than I could. There is no further conversation. The industrialist sits back in his high-backed chair and stares at the fire with an empty hatred. So much hatred. Let's go to the Persona's thingy's offices and get some stamped permits for the... Okay, we have 4 stamped permits now. Perfect. Lovely. I think that's kind of all we need to do here. Then we can move on. But before we do that, I'm going to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you'll come back for more. But most of all, as always, I hope you have a lovely, lovely day. Mwah!